Hey there, YouTube family. It's Stocks with Josh. Bitcoin and ETH are down today, continuing to be under pressure by failing crypto companies and general market conditions. SHIB and Doge were almost 6% up today. If price is the truth, what is that telling us? Before we begin, please invest in that like. If you're new to the page, then hit that subscribe. And anything I say is not a suggestion for you guys to buy, sell, or hold a stock. I got an email from one of you guys the other day that said, I joined your Telegram. What do I do next? Well, I want to tell you, I do not have a Telegram or a WhatsApp or an Instagram page for you to come to. I will never ask you to send me money. Folks, please, if you see a phone number in the comment section, it's not mine. They use my face. I'm not trying to reach out to you in that way. Okay, so what's going on with Bitcoin and ETH, and why are we unable to break out of this $20,000 range but appear to be falling below it? Well, we've got a domino effect that is still occurring that really began with Terra Luna, right? They were over leveraged, they were not positioned correctly, and when the market turned down and they were unprepared for it, they didn't have the cash flow and the liquidity that they needed to be able to survive an attack by malicious players against their system. And we all know that that basically created a snowball that continued to roll down, and eventually it hit a company called Three Arrows, which was also massively leveraged, and they also have failed and been liquidated, and that put enormous pressure on Voyager and BlockFi, and we saw FTX, Sam Bankman-Fried, come in and bail those guys out. And then all of that has now hit Celsius. And they've frozen their accounts. They've not allowed people to get money out of their system, which has created a lot of fear and panic. Bitcoin and ETH cannot go up until all of this gets flushed out of the system. And so what's left to get flushed out of the system? Well, right now, Celsius is in the crosshairs of an attack, and the next company that is going to be hit is very likely going to be USDT Tether. Celsius actually has billions of dollars that they locked up in ETH staking that they can't access until ETH 2.0 comes out. That actually may have been one thing that's to their benefit right now, because that money is not in a position where it can be liquidated. It's simply being held, and at some point will be released. But the fact is, they're in deep trouble, and they're it'll be interesting to see if anything could save them. But one of the second and third biggest investors in Celsius has come out is USDT Tether. Okay, and USDT Tether's overall position and exposure has really never been transparent to the public. They've been accused for a long time of not being properly funded. They claim that they have a dollar per dollar backing, and it's come out that that really isn't the case. And so at this moment in time, we've gotten massive hedge funds are beginning to get set up to short them. And, I've talked with you guys about Tether in the past. They were the absolute largest stable coin in the world, the third largest crypto in the world, and had tons and tons of backing and very deep pockets. But at the end of the day, all of these companies are getting their maximum stress test. And there are even malicious actors and big players in Wall Street that are essentially gunning for Tether. The CTO, Chief Technology Officer, came out and said that there's absolutely been, and they are undergoing, coordinated attacks to depeg their stablecoin. Now, up to this point, it has survived. There's been a few moments where it's come off of the dollar, but they have still honored any dollar-for-dollar transactions, and that has been happening. So in the last week, $6 billion has been redeemed off of Tether's system, and in the last month, $16 billion has been redeemed off of Tether's system. Well, so I'm going to propose to you that Bitcoin and ETH and crypto in general cannot begin to go back up until the market and the large market players have essentially finished whatever they're doing here with Celsius and Tether. That the unknown is just too much of a risk for people to begin to go put money back into crypto and to begin to reinvest. Whatever's going to happen with these two companies has got to be fully played out before Bitcoin and ETH can go up. In addition to that, Bitcoin and ETH are under pressure by the market conditions that all the other stocks and companies are under pressure by. The Fed is still looking at potentially raising 75 basis points in July. They have not even begun to do quantitative easing yet. And so this environment in general is also negative. So there's going to come a point in time when the specific issues behind Celsius and Tether are flushed out. And the market is going to turn. The Fed's going to become a little bit more dovish. I've talked about that in the past. He simply cannot maintain the high interest rates. He cannot put that pressure on the economy. He's going to eventually turn dovish. And it wouldn't be too hard for costs and some aspects of inflation to peak and to begin to come down. There's talk among some of the large retailers like Walmart that they have the beginning of backing up inventory because prices have been so high, people have slowed down in spending. And so if we get to peak inflation and we get past that and the Fed goes slightly dovish, all of these things I'm talking about today could turn on a dime. And but right now we have our eye on Celsius and Tether to see what's going to happen. USDC, which is backed right now by Circle, which has been heavily invested into by Sam Bankman-Fried, SBF, is emerging right now as the winner. Even if Tether passes the stress test that they've submitted themselves to. They've submitted themselves to an outside auditing firm who's going to review and come out and say whether or not they are in good financial shape. Even if they pass it, the powers that be, Sam Bankman-Fried and some of these other players and some of these Wall Street people, they have already won. So many people have transitioned from Tether to USDC, which is the coin they're backing, and they're using to build upon that. That will very likely emerge here in the next month as the largest stable coin, the third largest crypto in the world. They don't even ultimately have to take Tether down to its knees, essentially. They can accomplish their goal simply by passing them and pulling all of that money into the USDC system. So I will share with you guys in conclusion that today, I, not wanting to deal with the risk anymore, converted all of my Tether in different accounts that I have to USDC. I help manage a couple of my friends' accounts. I manage some bot trading accounts. And if you know anything about bot trading, you build your bot off of a particular stable coin and crypto pair. So converting all my Tether basically took away all the funds to feed those individual deals that I have, which was very disruptive. I had to create new deals built on USDC and USD, and DAI was a third one. But it just shows you that if I can't and don't want to deal with the potential risk anymore, that the impact of the fear around Tether has grown pretty large. Because I really hadn't been too concerned about it before. But I wanted to bring it to your guys' attention, and I also want to highlight this point. When these issues eventually flush out, and when the Fed begins to turn that corner, crypto is going to boom. It's not going to stay down here in the 20s. I'm going to say that I see it very, very easily getting back up into the high 30s, even though we're in a bear winter. I see that range getting a test. I do believe it will come back down into the 20s. But the idea that you're going to have months and months and months to buy it at 8,000 or 10,000 or even 14,000, I think is overly optimistic and unrealistic. That's why I talk to you guys all the time about being active in your DCAing in great crypto projects, Bitcoin and ETH, because there is a fabulous opportunity right now. You guys can always see that I'm excited about it and excited to share that with you guys. Before I leave you, I want to mention to you that moomoo is also running its best offer to date, which is up to 10 stocks for opening an account and funding it, and an 11th stock free, a share of Lucid. And for, I believe, 7 of those shares, you can spin and possibly win a share of Apple or Google. And yesterday in the comment section, one of you guys commented to me, I'll read this to you, by Joe Byers. Thank you for everything you're doing, Josh. I recently opened a moomoo account and I'm letting my son use it to do your small account challenge. By the way, he got a share of Apple. So but if you guys have any successes and you guys have also gotten a share of Apple or Google, please let me know. I'd love to celebrate with you. Thank you guys for letting me be part of your financial journey. Please don't forget to hit that like for me on the way out, and have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.